Okay.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Jamie Schenker-Passero. I'm the Director of Programs at the Temple University Small Business Development Center. We help small businesses start and grow, and we do that through two buckets. One is our no-cost consulting. So you can come in and meet with one of our business consultants, talk about your business plan, your business growth plan, marketing, your digital presence. You can also talk to our consultants about loan prep, matching with the right lender, and we can work with you for as long as you need. That is going to be a service that you'll find throughout the 1,000 SBDCs across the country. We work with clients in Philadelphia, Lower Bucks, and Eastern Montgomery County. So if you're located there, you are a small business and you are a for-profit, we can work with you in terms of our consultants. Our other bucket is all of our training programs, like the one you're joining us for today. Hopefully you have seen our calendar and have signed up for some other events that we have in the future. We have a 6-week business plan class coming up in a few weeks. That has a cost to it, but the vast majority of our programs do not. So for today, you are joining us for this. This is a session that we like to do semi-regularly. This is free library digital resources to help your business. So we're going to be learning about databases, how to use them, how to get all of that information that you can then put into your business plan, because a good business plan has data, right? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about sources to generate sales leads and other free resources that that you should be using, but maybe aren't yet, or maybe aren't using in the most efficient way. So we're very lucky to be joined by Birch. They are a business librarian at BRIC. If you haven't heard of BRIC, that is the Business Resource and Innovation Center at the Free Library. So that's the branch that is dedicated to you. So Birch helps business owners do that research. And so we'll go over those services today and how you can work more one-on-one with a business librarian as well. Birch has left time for questions at intervals throughout the presentation. So the best place to do that is in the Q&A. That'll let us get to the questions in a most organized fashion. We will be recording the session and sending out follow-up materials. I will also ask at the end that you complete a survey. So you let us know about how this webinar was for you, what you got out of it, and also what other subjects you'd like to hear from us to learn about as a small business owner. So I will turn it over to Birch. And again, please use the Q&A for the questions. That'll just help us get through them. And thanks for joining, everybody. I'll turn it over to Birch.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Birch. Welcome to this webinar, Free Library Digital Resources to Help Your Business. So this is going to be a bit of a virtual tour of the Business Resource and Innovation Center, or BRIC for short. Like I said, my name is Birch Mezzaroba, and I'll be teaching today's webinar. I'm going to give an overview of our resources and the services available that we have for business owners and entrepreneurs. I'll also touch quickly on our other service areas as well. So we're going to be covering quite a bit of information over the next hour, but at the end of the presentation, I'll cover some ways you can further learn on your own or work with us to dive deeper into some of the topics that I cover today. I encourage you all to explore our website, which is freelibrary.org/business, after class, and email me if you have any questions. I'll post that link and our email on the screen at the end of the presentation. I'm also about to post a link in the chat that's going to bring you to a Google Doc, like a Google PDF of a resource guide with all of the links to our resources, and it's going to link to a lot of the things that I talk about today. I'm also going to send that to Jamie to send out to everyone at the end of the presentation if you miss it in the chat. All right, let's go to the next slide. Let's see if I did this right. Okay. All right, so yeah, once again, my name is Birch. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm the business services librarian here at the Business Resource and Innovation Center. I started my librarian career here at the library back in March of 2023, and I've been in the BRIC since then. All right, first things first, I have a very, very important question for all of you here. Do you have a library card? If not, oh, wrong slide, wait. Okay, if not, it's okay, I'm not mad. It's super easy to get one.
Birch,
Yes,
I just took out books from the library this month for the first time in many years, and it felt so good. Just wanted to add that.
it's great. We love to hear it. If so, okay, so if you don't have a library card, you can get one even if you are not at a library location. You can get one digitally. You're going to need a library card to access all of the databases and resources I'm going to talk about today. So I definitely recommend getting one. And I'm going to really quick go over the process of getting a digital card if you don't already have one. So to get a digital card, you're going to go to freelibrary.org, which is our website, and you click Get a Library Card on the top right side of the page. That link will be in the same spot right there on the top on every free library webpage. So no matter where you are on the website, that link is going to be there. So you click it, and it'll walk you through the steps to getting a library card. Library cards are available to all residents of Pennsylvania. You don't have to live in Philadelphia. Or if you work in Philadelphia but don't live in the state, you can also qualify for a library card. So say you live in New Jersey, but you work for an employer in the city. If you have proof of employment that you work in Philadelphia, you can get a library card. Virtual cards need to be verified within 60 days of registering. So the verification process, frankly, I'm not the one who gives out the library card, so I'm not 100% sure what it is, but they are like very clear about it when you sign up for it. Or if you want, you could come down to one of the 54 branches or here at Parkway Central and verify your card and also get a physical card as well. We still do have the 50th anniversary of hip hop cards that we put out during the summer. There are still some of those available at least I know here at Parkway. I think the branches still have some as well if you want a fun card besides like the basic red one. All right, so now that that's out of the way, I'm going to jump into what we all came here to talk about, business resources and services. In the BRIC, we serve business owners and entrepreneurs with guided research instruction, classes, events, office hours with experts, specialized databases, periodicals, and a highly curated print collection. Business, however, is only one aspect of the BRIC. We also serve nonprofit professionals, patent and trademark seekers, and job seekers. I'll go over those services briefly at the end of our session. So the BRIC moved into its current home here on the ground floor of Parkway Central back in April of 2019. This new space offers a collaborative work environment with comfortable furniture, meeting rooms which can be reserved for free, and free Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi is separate from the rest of the building's Wi-Fi, so you don't need a library card to log into it. Most library locations, you log into the Wi-Fi with your library card number and PIN. Here, we just have like a password and Wi-Fi name projected on the screens. That's super, it doesn't feel like it's relevant, but it's very helpful when the rest of the building's Wi-Fi goes down because ours continues to work. So the BRIC gets kind of crowded if the library's Wi-Fi is down because the BRIC, we still have Wi-Fi. Also, since our department is meant to be a collaborative workspace, it is not a quiet space. So of course you can't be screaming and yelling in the BRIC, but you don't need to whisper. You can just use like normal talking voices. A lot of people come to kind of get out of their houses if they're working from home, just to like get a change of pace. We used to host co-working sessions with the Philly startup leaders. Those are on pause for right now, but we're hoping to bring them back soon. But that was really popular. Folks would just come and like basically hang out and work together and chat. It honestly did get a little noisy, but like that's what we're for. Like we're not trying to police sound here. A lot of people do take Zoom calls in the department. We just ask you to use headphones, but like you can speak to your computer. We also have sound deafening phone booths, like off in a corner where you can sit and take a call if you want a little more privacy. So the Business Resource Innovation Center, or BRIC, is a unique space for entrepreneurs in Philly because it's staffed with professional librarians. Myself and our department head, Rachel Hayes, we are the only two publicly funded business librarians in Philadelphia. So please use us as the free resource that we are. Most business librarians are behind a paywall. They're either associated with universities or they're with a company. We are a really unique free resource and we really want people to take advantage of us. It's important to note that we are not business professionals. My background before becoming a librarian is in history and anthropology. You don't want my advice on how to run your business. What you do want, though, is my help in doing research. And that's what, as librarians, that's what we're here for. We are resource and community professionals. So we focus on a few things. We focus on curating resources because it can be really overwhelming to dive into business research, and even more overwhelming is the number of support services in the city. We pride ourselves in asking you questions to better arrive at the services you need, whether they are in the library or outside of the library. Sometimes you just don't know what you want to know. So never be afraid to ask a librarian. That's what we're here for. We also focus on developing programs. These can be classes on using free library databases for something like market research taught by a librarian, or a program outside of the expertise of a librarian, such as a marketing class or like a financial business finance class, and those would be taught by like a partner organization that has expertise in that field. We teach research skills, such as using databases to write business plans or business growth plans. And we are just super into data. And we're really into getting the data that helps you answer those questions and get that information that you need. So our collection is both digital and print. We're mostly today here, we're here to talk about our digital resources, but I would be remiss not to mention our print collection as well. For our digital resources, we offer a collection of databases geared toward helping you write a business plan, craft competitive analyses, demographic research, market research, and generating sales lists. Like I mentioned a few slides ago, all of these resources are available remotely using your library card number and PIN. Here on the screen, I've got a list of the databases, but I'm going to talk about each one individually more in depth as we go on. As for our print collection, it is small but highly curated. We have somewhere around 100 books coming any day now, so it'll be growing soon. But we keep it pretty tight, pretty topical. Our collection spans topics like starting a business, management, leadership, marketing, finance. We have a social impact section. We also have a collection of books pertaining to nonprofit and intellectual property topics. We also subscribe to a number of periodicals. So we subscribe to the Philadelphia Business Journal, Philadelphia Magazine, Forbes, and Fast Company, to name a few. All right, so to access our databases, you can access all of them via the link freelibrary.org/business. That is on that resource guide I sent out as well, if you don't remember it. That link is listed. Oh, yeah, it's listed in the resource guide. I'm going to walk you through navigating our website, though, since it can be a little confusing. We're hoping to get a website revamp soon. So from freelibrary.org/business, you'll find all of our resources, including sample documents of business plans, templates, and worksheets. You'll also find links to our previously taught librarian-led classes and database demos, which are linked from our YouTube library. We have a pretty extensive YouTube library of classes that have been taught in the past. They're really great. I highly, highly recommend checking that out after we're done here. And you'll also find our databases linked here on this website. So once you go to freelibrary.org/business, scroll down to the page until you see the heading Databases and Digital Resources. Then click the red hyperlink Premier Business Databases. And that link will bring you to our database page. Notice at the top, it automatically filters the databases by subject, business, and entrepreneurs. You can change this filter to any subject area or set it to all databases to see all of the free digital resources available via the free library. But this link will automatically take you to the business and entrepreneurs databases. Word of warning, there is also a business and economics subject filter. There are databases in that one, but that's not going to give you all of the ones I'm going to talk about today. So make sure you're clicking on business and entrepreneurs if you are filtering by subject, trying to find these databases. So once you click any link to a database, you'll be prompted to enter your library card number and PIN unless you are on library Wi-Fi. So if you're on site at a library, that's enough. You don't need your library card number and PIN. Like I mentioned previously, all of the business databases are available from anywhere in the world with your library card credentials. This isn't true for all library resources. Some you need to be on site to use, but all of the ones we're going to talk about today can be used from home or anywhere. All right. So now we know how to access the databases. Let's begin discussing the research areas. In the BRIC, we break business research into 3 major topics: market research, demographic research, and competitive analysis. These are the 3 core topics that librarians can offer guidance on. Additionally, we offer resources and support to entrepreneurs with business planning and compiling sales lists. Remember, this webinar is meant to just be an introduction to these research topics, not an exhaustive class. Each research area is actually its own class in that YouTube library that I mentioned. And like I said, I would definitely recommend checking that out after this is done. I'll also talk about the steps to setting up a guided research appointment. I'll talk about that at the end of the presentation. But basically, don't stress right now about trying to remember all of the information I'm going to throw at you. We're just getting started. All right, so before I jump in with market research, our first kind of research we're going to talk about today, I'm going to pause for any questions. I guess you can put them in the Q&A part if you have
Yes,
them.
I'm looking. I'm
Yeah.
not seeing any at the moment.
Yeah, I've never used the question and answer function.
I'll let you know if any come in to make
Okay.
it easy for you.
Great, thank you.
Yep, we could probably move on.
Yeah, let's keep going. All right. I wonder if I could make this keep going. Okay. All right, so let's jump in with market research. The BRIC subscribes to 3 major market research databases. And when we talk about market research in the BRIC, we are referring to industry knowledge broken into 2 major industry groups. So for example, restaurants is a major industry group, not something specific like a sushi restaurant or a barbecue joint. Market research provides you with forecasting information, trends, opportunities, and challenges. The goal of market research is to get your finger on the pulse of your industry and to become an expert in it, so you know the ecosystem that your business exists within, inside and out. So the first database we're going to discuss today is Mergent Intellect. Mergent Intellect First Research, to be specific. Mergent Intellect is actually a collection of databases, and First Research is the market research aspect. Personally, this is my favorite database for conducting market research. I always recommend folks start here as it's very straightforward and easy to navigate. When you click the link to access Mergent Intellect from our website, you'll be prompted to enter an email address. This is just to ensure that you're a real person and not a robot. Some years ago, Mergent Intellect was having problems with fake logins, so they started requiring a valid email address just to access the database. I can personally promise you they're not going to be sending you like spam emails. I've never got an email from them in my life. It's just to make sure that you're a person. So once you get into the database, you can search for industries based on keywords or NAICS codes. If you don't know what a NAICS code is, it stands for North American Industry Classification System. And is a standard created and used by the federal government for the purpose of collecting, analyzing, and publishing statistical data related to U.S. business economy. So every major industry group has a number associated with it that classifies it as an industry. So if you know the NAICS code for your company, for your business, you can search by the code in Mergent Intellect, or you can just search for keyword like restaurants. Or here I've got a screenshot of museums, zoos, and parks. So Mergent Intellect is very searchable, and it looks a lot like what you wish a Google search of your industry would look like. It includes information on over 1,000 industries. And here you can find information on forecasting, trends, opportunities, issues, challenges facing your industry. It links directly to related industries, and you can sign up for daily emails about top tweets and popular online articles. It also has a section of definitions of industry jargon, basically. So if there's like if it's an industry with a lot of like specific phrases that aren't necessarily used outside of the industry, it has this really helpful section where it defines those phrases for you. I think that's like a really unique aspect of this database that it's like very far down on the screen, so sometimes it gets overlooked, but so I like to mention it. This database can also be really helpful for putting together a SWOT analysis. That stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, for if you don't know. A SWOT analysis is made for your specific business, but getting an idea of the trends in the industry can help you think about your own business's standing. It also has a section called Call Prep Questions, which is a stupid name for a really helpful tool. Call Prep Questions just doesn't really say much, but basically what it is a section of sample questions and answers to topics that are unique to each industry. These are questions that funders kind of might be asking. So it's like good to have these questions and answers ready to go. This information is updated quarterly, which makes it pretty, what's the word?
To date.
It's yeah, up to date. There it is. Thank you.
Hey, Birch.
Yes.
There are a few people asking if the slides can be shared. People are really liking the information in the slides. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, great. And somebody else also asked what days you are available at BRIC.
So we are open Monday through Friday. We're not open Saturdays. We're not opening with the Saturday wave just yet.
So does that mean that there's BRIC staff is working within those hours?
Yeah, the BRIC will be open Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, Monday through Wednesday, and then 9 to 5, Thursday and Friday.
Okay. And someone else is asking, is the resource you previously shared, Emergent, is that available online?
Yes.
Or do you have to, you don't have to be on site?
No, none of the databases I'm going to talk about do you have to be on site.
You said none of them you do.
No.
Okay.
The library itself subscribes to some that you do have to be on site, but none of the ones that I'm going to talk about today are like that. They can all be accessed remotely online.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, yeah. So other insights from Emergent Intellect include critical issues, opportunities, trends. So you're getting really clearly defined, helpful information from this database. Here I've got a screenshot from the industry opportunities list for museums, zoos, and parks. You can see that you're getting specific, actionable information that also includes a why. So they're not just telling you that these opportunities exist, they're giving you reasoning and giving you actionable ways that you can think about making the most of these opportunities. Okay, so next, we're going to talk about Gale Business Insights Global. This database offers encyclopedic information on industries in a more traditional reference style. This includes articles pulled from ebooks, academic journals, and trade journals. This database also has info on large publicly traded companies. So this includes SWOT reports for those large companies, market rankings, investment reports, and just general news about your industry. You can also access industry studies and business news business news by industry, which is aggregated by Gale. Gale, for anyone who's unfamiliar, is a top library information provider and publisher of reference books. A lot of our resources are hosted by Gale. And finally, the last market research database I'm going to talk about is D&B Global Business Browser. D&B stands for Dun & Bradstreet. So this information is coming from Dun & Bradstreet. This is our most advanced market research tool provided by the free library. Like Emergent Intellect, First Research also provides general market research information, such as company information, news, industry info. But the thing that really sets D&B apart from the other market research databases is that it has information on international companies. It's our only international market research database. You can also find detailed market research reports for broad industries. So you can see these like professionally published market reports like market line industry profiles, Fredonia focus reports, RMA industry norms, and Euromonitor industry reports. You can also sort by country. So if you're only looking for market research in the United States or the UK, you can search by geographic area as well. So really what is so most helpful about this one is those professionally published market research reports like MarketLine, Fredonia, and the RMA industry norms. I know those are really helpful for accountants. A lot of accountants will ask for those RMA industry norms, and you can get those here in D&B. All right. Here, I just took a screenshot of the Fredonia focus report for the restaurant industry. Taking a look at the table of contents, you can see how much is covered in this 40-page report. I also included a screenshot of the highlights page, which is included at the beginning of each Fredonia focus. Fredonia is a research company that produces these reports, offering concise overviews, including things like market segmentation, product forecasts, market leaders, economic indicators, etc. Keep in mind, these reports are only available for large major industries and not like smaller niche industries. So if you're looking for a Fredonia focus report for like something really specific, that you're not going to find it. But if you're looking for something big like restaurants, then they have that here at D&B. All right, so I'm going to pause again here for questions. If anybody has any questions about those three databases, let me look in the chat if there's anything I've missed.
I've gotten to most of them because people are
Okay.
asking if the recording and slides would be shared, and that's a
Yeah.
yes. People are asking, like my question is, can you access this remotely from your own home using your library
Yeah.
card? And the answer is yes. Somebody asked for that link document, so I reshared what you shared initially,
Okay.
which I think has the links to most of these databases, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
And all of them are linked on, yeah, so if you go to freelibrary.org/business and click the link to, it says like Premier Business Databases, that brings you to the list of all of these databases.
We have some questions about obtaining a DUNS number and narrowing down a NAICS code. Those are certainly things that our consultants can do at our office, and you can answer Birch if that's the case for BRIC.
Yeah, that is truthfully something that I would probably if a patron came and asked me that, I'd probably recommend that go talk to you.
Yeah, come to our office. I'll provide our resource page as well, which also includes how to sign up with a consultant. I'll add that now.
Yeah, for deciding on a NAICS code, for that, so when I usually do appointments with folks, often we'll be doing research on a couple of NAICS codes. If there's not one that like perfectly fits with their businesses, maybe there's like 2 or 3 that sort of all together cover it, then we'll kind of do research on all of them. So yeah, that's my answer to the NAICS code question. Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Yep.
Because I'm not talking as fast as I thought I would. All right. So now we're gonna go into demographic research. I think personally, this is one of the more fun research areas because you get to see how much information about people really exists out there. It's a little jarring and upsetting to find yourself or your friends in a database, but it's also pretty fascinating to see what information just like exists about you. The BRIC provides access to 2 demographic research resources to help you locate your target audience. You can use this information to build on your market research and decide how and where you will reach and market to your potential customers. So the first database I'm going to talk about is Reference Solutions, formerly Reference USA. This is a collection of databases similar to how Mergent Intellect was a collection of databases. Reference Solutions really is a powerhouse of information of consumer and business data. And I find myself using it a lot in my own reference work here at the library. I can't recommend this one enough as a tool for small business owners doing their own business research. It really is kind of a jack of all trades database. It's essentially a tool for building lists. I'm actually going to talk quite a bit about it. Like I said, it does a lot. It's really helpful for demographic research as well as competitive analysis and sales lists. So right now for demographic research, I'll talk about the 2 main databases we use for that, which are consumer and lifestyles and new movers and homeowners. So like I said, Reference Solutions is a suite of databases, and within it, there are several more databases. And the 2 that we use for demographic research are consumers and lifestyles and new movers and homeowners. Consumers and lifestyles has info on over 261 million people. And new movers / homeowners has over 10 million people in it. So that's roughly 75% of the US population that's in these databases. This is a hyper-local tool. It's going to reveal information on cities and neighborhoods using the advanced search feature, which I always recommend using. You can fully customize your search by criteria like home value, income, spending interests, zip code, and more. Once you pick your parameters for your search, you can view your results as a list, chart, or heat map. The geography search criteria is a really strong part of this database. You can see here on the left-hand side of the, the geography criteria, which includes searching by metro area. So say you want to see people not just in the city, but you're interested in seeing demographics for people in Southern New Jersey and Northern Delaware. You can set the metro area for like the greater Philadelphia region. You can also set a radius around a specific point. So say you have a brick and mortar shop and you only want to search results of people living within a mile of your store, you can do that with reference solutions. When I say your results will be a list, I mean it. You will get a list of names, and each name expands into a fuller record, which includes address, demographic information, spending interests, home values, and you can even see information on the make and model of their vehicle. Some records are more complete than others, but that's really generally what this database is doing. It is building a list of people who fit the criteria that you set. The only caveat is that if you select any of the consumer snapshot criteria when crafting your search, you won't be given a list of names. So the search criteria under consumer snapshot is that like hardcore demographic information. So like race, religion, gender. If you select anything from that category of criteria, you won't be given a list. You'll just be given charts and graphs. This is to protect personal privacy to a certain degree. Since it's all demographic information, they don't want to let people like make a list of people who are a specific demographic because that can get really bad really fast. If you select a consumer snapshot criteria when crafting your search, you can be given that list, which kind of will break down like where those consumers live in specific zip codes or areas of the city. I see somebody asked in the chat, will you get contact info? Yes, it will give you like phone numbers. Sometimes there'll be an email. There is like a disclaimer that Reference Solutions gives. It's like, we're not giving you permission to reach out to these people, but like the address is helpful if you're doing like a postcard campaign or something. So yeah, the short answer to that is that yeah, you will get ways of contacting these people. Okay, let me see, where was I? Yeah, so those charts you get when you select that demographic search criteria can be helpful for identifying zip codes where your demographic is concentrated. So I definitely recommend playing around with all of the search criteria, seeing what kind of results you get, learning how the database works, and just seeing what information you can extrapolate from the data it provides. That kind of goes for all of the databases I'm going to talk about today. I recommend playing around with them in your own time.
Birch,
yes.
I have a question. How do you feel about I want to call it Reference USA, but
yeah,
new name. How do you feel like it compares to census research? Do you think it gets more into kind of the lifestyle information?
Yeah, so this one definitely does get more into lifestyle information. This one is pulling from credit cards. So there is like that there is a lifestyles search topic, like there are criteria. So you
yeah,
can
census
search,
certainly wouldn't have that.
yeah,
okay.
You can search based on buying behavior. So you can search for like a list of, and that one, lifestyles, does give you a list of people. So you can't, since it's not demographic information, it's just like buying behaviors. It's a little less personal, I guess. But so you can get like a list of people who are spending a not insignificant amount of money on their pets or on like apparel.
Wow.
Yeah, and that one, those will give you the list. That's not going to hide that information.
Thanks.
What happens, let me clarify though, when you do search and you get a list of people and it is like generating a list and you click on the records, it expands into all the information about that person. You can get the demographic info about a specific person. You just can't search for it, if that makes sense. So like,
it's like one or the other.
Yeah, so like
okay.
Say you're searching for people who live in Philadelphia and make over 100,000 a year and spend money on their pets. And somebody named John Doe comes up. You click on John Doe's record and you can see John Doe's demographic information. You just can't search for a list of Hispanic people living in Philadelphia because that's
gotcha.
dangerous. But you can get it circuitously. But yeah. Oh, I will also mention Reference Solutions has an app, which is actually very easy to use. You can connect your library card to it. So you can use it anywhere. You don't have to just like log in
Whoa.
every time. Yeah, I definitely recommend downloading the app. I like find myself using it sometimes in like conversations with my friends. All right, let me move on.
Yes, thank you.
So now we're going to talk about Simply Analytics. Simply Analytics is a data visualization tool with a map feature that provides hardcore demographic and psychographic information. To clarify, psychographics encompass consumers' psychological characteristics like interests, values, and goals. So this database includes demographics like race, income, religion, but also psychographics like buying behaviors, attitudes, and opinions. There are more than 200,000 data variables in Simply Analytics. You can search the database by topic or by a keyword search. Then you can choose to visualize the data set as a percentage or a number. I like to do percentage just because it makes more sense in my brain, but there is no reason not to use number if that works better for you. So you can edit the legend as well. So say you want to identify zip codes with specifically more than 20% of cat owners. You want to find neighborhoods where 20% or more households have a cat. You can pick the cat owner data set. There are several. And then edit the legend to automatically generate to show areas with more than 20% of owning cats. I don't know if these areas exist in the city necessarily. That's a lot of cat owners, but Simply Analytics knows and it could tell you. The map feature is the highlight of Simply Analytics, but you can also view data as a comparison chart, a ranking list, or you can produce a demographic quick report, which kind of looks like a census report for any specific chosen geographic location. And each of these, those reports can be downloaded as an Excel file or as a PDF. I recommend using Simply Analytics in tandem with Reference Solutions. So it's best to go into Simply Analytics already equipped with a basic understanding of your demographic and geographic areas. So you can get an idea of where your target audience lives and use that information in Simply Analytics to build a more complete picture. Using Reference Solutions first to narrow down the geographic focus is especially helpful because you can only view one variable at a time in Simply Analytics. So it's easy to toggle back and forth between data sets, but you can only overlay one on the map at a time. So basically, I would use Reference Solutions to identify basic demographics and then use Simply Analytics to explore and determine the hyper-specific demographics and psychographics of a localized area. Now I'll reiterate, Simply Analytics is a really high-level and advanced web tool. I'm not saying this to scare you out of using it. I actually want to do the opposite. I don't want you to be afraid to be confused when you first use Simply Analytics. I still get confused when I'm using this database. There's definitely a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it can really be an invaluable tool. Simply Analytics also has a really robust support staff that offers live chats, FAQs, and video tutorials right there on the website. We also have, we could offer some guidance on it as well. We have a database demonstration on our YouTube library of it. Okay, I'm going to pause again for questions very, very quickly because we've got 20 minutes left and I still have quite a few slides.
We can keep going.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Now, competitive analysis. In your competitive analysis, you will identify your business's competitors and evaluate their strategies to determine their strengths and weaknesses relative to your own product or service. So to conduct a competitive analysis, we once again are going to head on over to Reference Solutions. Remember, Reference Solutions is a collection of databases, and thankfully, once you've used one Reference Solutions database, you use them all. They all kind of use the same format. The search criteria options might change slightly, but the functionality remains the same. Honestly, though, most of the search criteria does remain the same throughout the databases. It changes a little bit, but like a lot of it's pretty standard. And you can always export your results, generate heat maps and charts, and build lists. That's always going to be an option. For the purpose of conducting a competitive analysis, Reference Solutions has three major databases: U.S. businesses, U.S. new businesses, and healthcare. The database suite contains more than 93 million business listings, plus 2.2 million new businesses, and 2.3 million doctors. Again, using the advanced search feature, you can customize your search by industry, geographic location, sales volume, number of employees, and much more. This database can also help identify areas of economic development if you see a neighborhood with a lot of thriving and new businesses. Just like the last reference solutions database we looked at, you'll get a list of results. The difference is that instead of a list of people, it's going to be a list of businesses and their associated addresses. Clicking on the result will give you a more detailed information like their sales volume, how long they've been in business, executive names, and business expenditure estimations. The US New Businesses database includes much less information because these businesses are newer, less established, but it can be helpful to see what has been recently opened within the last week or longer, or up to 1 year. So it lets you search for businesses that have been opened within a week or within a year, within that time frame. Finally, the healthcare database is most helpful if you yourself are a healthcare business or plan on doing business with healthcare businesses. And that kind of leads us into sales lists. So like I mentioned previously, this isn't one of our main areas of business research, but our resources can help you compile your sales lists and find potential sales leads. We use reference solutions databases for both B2C or business to consumer and B2B or business to business database, business to business sales lists. That means regardless of whether you are marketing your product or service to other businesses or directly to the consumer, reference solutions can be of help. Like we've established, the reference solutions databases are really flexible and customizable. So you can really work to craft searches and lists that work for you. To create a B2B or business to business sales list, you're going to want to look at those 3 reference solutions databases we just covered for competitive analysis. So that's US businesses, US new businesses, and healthcare. We can use these 3 databases to produce potential sales leads based on industry size, location, and more. So this is for businesses that sell to businesses specifically. For example, say you own a commercial cleaning company or a wholesaler. This database is great for finding a concise list of businesses who fit the bill for exactly who you're trying to work with. You can search for real estate offices with more than 20 employees, for example. Another helpful search criteria for the purpose of a B2B sales list is the business expenditures search criteria. So you can search for businesses that only spend so much on broad topics like accounting, contract labor, and advertising. So say you have an advertising firm, you're going to want to look for businesses that are actually spending money on advertising. Or maybe you want to look for businesses that aren't spending money on advertising and would maybe be open to. I'm not sure, but that's a thing that you can search for. You can also admit results on all reference solutions databases. So say you're uninterested in doing business in a specific zip code. Say you just do not want to go down to 19148. You're not trying to go to South Philly. You can omit all businesses within that zip code from your results. You could also omit, there's other areas, search areas you could omit. You can omit industry codes, et cetera, et cetera. B2B sales lists can also be really helpful for a freelancer. That you can generate a list of people who would maybe potentially be interested in hiring you. Basically, generating a B2B sales list is the same process as generating a competitive analysis. You're just looking for businesses that you are looking to sell to instead of businesses that you are competing with. I mean, it's a very similar process. To create a B2C or business to consumer sales list, we'll go back to reference solutions databases that we used for demographic research. So that's consumers and lifestyles and new movers and homeowners. Using these databases, you can produce sales leads based on variables like location, spending interests, how long they've been in their home, what kind of home they live in, and of course, incomes. These sorts of sales leads are most helpful for businesses who are selling directly to consumers. So if you have a retail store or a restaurant or a salon, those kinds of businesses can benefit from compiling a sales list, a B2C sales list. Here I've got a screenshot of a heat map that reference solutions will generate. So when you're compiling a B2C sales list, you're going to realize that you have a much longer list of results than when creating a B2B sales list. This makes sense, right? Because there are way more people than businesses. So it can be helpful to find a specific geographic area where your potential customers live instead of focusing on the entire city or metro area. One of the most helpful features for doing that is this heat map function. So here you can see I've got a screenshot from a heat map showing about 6,700 data points laid over a map of the city. So this is showing us a search I did in the US Consumers Lifestyles database for people living in 19148 who have an estimated household income of over $100,000. And I created a heat map using the toolbar at the top of the results page. Once you generate the heat map, you can zoom in and out and explore areas on the map, just like Google Maps. The areas where it's bright red indicate a high concentration of consumers who fit the bill. If you zoom in close enough, you'll see data points with names. So you can click on that and see those full records with all of that demographic information. Having this geographic information is really helpful for targeting social media ads, like a Facebook or Instagram ad campaign. You can also choose to target your marketing efforts to a specific neighborhood or even a specific set of blocks. If you want to do like a postcard campaign or something like that, this could be really helpful. All right, I'm gonna keep going. We'll do questions at the end. Okay, so the final type of business research that the BRIC can help with is finding and using business planning tools to help you ideate, craft, and write your business plan. So we have two major resources for doing that. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Business Plan Handbook. It's available via Gale eBooks database. It's a collection of actual full-text business plans. We currently have 49 volumes. Volume 58 and 59 were published this year, so very up to date. You can find, these are real business plans that have been used by actual businesses. You can search within the publication by keyword. So if you want to find a business plan that's similar to yours, you can search and find one that is like yours, and you can compare, kind of get an idea of what your business plan should look like. You can download these plans to Google Drive or as a PDF. You can email them to yourself. You can also translate them into a number of languages or listen to it as an audiobook. Next, we have Gale Small Business Builder. This is an online tool that offers a guided approach to writing a business plan, creating a pitch deck, and organizing your thoughts into using the business model canvas, which is a tool that people really like for getting their thoughts on paper for like the first time. Gale Small Business Builder is essentially an in-depth interactive template. It gives you, it guides you through the sections with examples and explanations. And once you've completed the template, it will produce a perfectly formatted Word document or PDF of your business plan. You can and should create an account with Gale Small Business Builder so you can save your work. You can also save and work on multiple business plans at once. I always recommend this tool to folks who are just getting started but are feeling overwhelmed as to how to start. It's very much a guided tool, and it really holds your hand through the entire process. There are other less guided templates you can use, like with Score has a pretty helpful template. We also have like a Word document template on our website. Some people like that more like free-form approach. You know, everyone has their preferences. But this one is really helpful if you're looking for something like pretty intensely helpful. All right, so to wrap up, I'm going to talk really quickly about our online resources. Quickly go over the library's online learning and digital media resources. Your free library card gets you access to continuing education classes, ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, films, all that good stuff, all for free. You can access the digital media and online learning tools by visiting freelibrary.org and clicking databases in the blue find box right underneath the search bar. From here, you can select digital learning or digital media from the top of the page. You can also access them alphabetically from the list of databases or by that filter we discussed earlier. One thing to remember about the Free Library's website is that there are many pathways to access these same pages and information. So this is just one way to get to this stuff. I'm sure there's 15 billion other ways you can get there. Underneath this screenshot, I've listed some of the online learning and digital media resources I think are most helpful to business owners and entrepreneurs. First, we have LinkedIn Learning, formerly Lynda. LinkedIn Learning is an online learning platform that helps anyone with any background learn business, software, technology, and creative skills to achieve personal and professional goals. Some classes are standalones, some come in multi-parts. They can range from minutes to hours, and you can always learn at your own pace. Universal Class, very similar. It offers online continuing ed courses in a wide variety of subjects. Also at your own pace, they're taught by real instructors. Both LinkedIn Learning and Universal Class will provide you with a certificate of completion. Universal Class is not as advanced as LinkedIn Learning, so I often recommend folks start with Universal Class to get a general understanding of a new topic and then move into LinkedIn Learning to kind of do a deeper dive. For digital media highlights, I've included Overdrive and its app counterpart, Libby. You can access ebooks, audiobooks, and magazines from Overdrive/Libby, and you can also place holds on materials through, I know you can do it through the Libby app. I do it all the time. Some magazines you can access via Overdrive/Libby include Forbes, The New Yorker, Adweek, many, many more. If you want to access your digital media on the go, I definitely recommend getting the Libby app. You connect it to your library card. If you want to do it on your desktop, you use Overdrive, or a laptop, Overdrive. You can also access newspapers and some trade publications via PressReader. PressReader includes The Economist, the Philadelphia Inquirer, and several other highly reputable published news sources. We also relatively recently began providing access to Canopy, which is a streaming platform for documentaries, educational videos, independent films, foreign films. We do a lot of film screenings at the library, and a lot of the films come from Canopy. But you can watch those on your own too. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the free library's New York Times subscription. So you can get the New York Times for free through the library. You access it via the databases page by filtering by subject, newspapers and magazines, and then navigating alphabetically to N. You get an unlimited number of 72-hour passes to the New York Times. But if you're on site at the library, it just logs you right in. I'm not really sure how the pass thing works, but it is very easy. You just click the link, put in your library card credentials, and then it's okay, here's your pass. And then you have to do it again, I guess, every 3 days. I have a New York Times subscription, so I don't use it. So I'm not sure how that works, but it is free. I know that. And it does work. I've used it before I got my own subscription. All right, we're wrapping up. So I told you about all the digital resources to help with business planning and research. We've gone over the library's digital media and learning resources and how to find them. Now I'm going to talk quickly about the other services provided by the BRIC. We are a patent and trademark resource center. That means we are officially affiliated with the USPTO, but we ourselves are not the patent and trademarks office. So we have a designated patent librarian who can help you through the process of applying for a patent or trademark, who can just kind of give you some more insight on that and how to use the patent search engine. He takes one-on-one appointments, but we don't offer legal help, obviously. It's important to remember we're not lawyers, we're librarians, but we can refer folks to low or no cost intellectual property legal programs. If you're interested in that, you can fill out the form on our website. So if you go to the BRIC's homepage, you'll see the menu bar at the top, and you just hit patent and trademark, and that link to make an appointment with our patent librarians right there. We are also a regional foundation center, or RFC for short. We have a lot of acronyms at the BRIC. The Regional Foundation Center is our nonprofit group, or nonprofit sub-department. We have databases to help folks find funding, grant opportunities for the nonprofit. We also have a YouTube library of nonprofit classes as well. All right, now I mentioned that we take research appointments. If you are thinking that you want to do one of those, we offer one-on-one research appointments, either myself or Rachel, the department head. We offer these appointments to entrepreneurs with currently operating businesses, or for folks who are still in the ideation stage but have attended a BRIC orientation. Hint, hint, this is a BRIC orientation. So if you've attended this, you can fill out the form to request an appointment. In these appointments, we can discuss up to 2 topics, including market research, demographic research, all the things I just talked about. To request an appointment, you will fill out the form linked here, and just let us know a little bit more information about your goals, your business, and then we'll find a time to meet either in person or Zoom for about an hour, and to go over those databases and address those specific questions that you have. It's basically a guided research session, and the goal is to send you on your way at the end of it with a plan of how you'll continue on your own. Right as of right now, the link on our website is not working. The web team is handling it apparently. So if you got that link down here on the screen, that one should work. But if for some reason you're having trouble getting the link to work, you can just email us and let us know you want an appointment. Like I said, I talked about the YouTube library. Really can't recommend it enough. You can access it via our website or the link here. We have standing office hours with a handful of partner organizations. I'm not going to tell you about the Temple Small Business Development Center office hours. You don't need that. But we do office hours with the city, the Office of Business Services. They come 2 to 4 every third Thursday. So that's actually going to be tomorrow. So if you have any questions about like the specifics of running a business in Philadelphia, like tax questions or registration questions, they can help out with that. And you can see all of our upcoming events on our website, freelibrary.org/business. I told you about the physical space already. Our hours are 9 to 7 on Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 5 Thursday through Friday. We've got computers you can reserve. We've got rooms you can reserve. If you want a room, you could fill out the request form on our website, or you can email us. Or if you're here and you think you want a room, you could just pop in to the desk and ask if we have anything available. There's also rooms available in the Heim Center, which is directly above the BRIC. You could actually see it in this picture. It's like above that, that is where that balcony is. They have rooms as well. So if we're ever booked up, you can try them. All right. And our last thing I want to talk about, our most popular program, free headshots. We do it every Thursday, not every Thursday. I don't know why I said that. Every first and third Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. You can see my beautiful headshot right here, done by our amazing photographer, Albert. We get usually roughly like 30 people come a week. It's really great. You get a professional headshot done, in and out, super quick. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate it. Yeah, I definitely recommend coming down for one of these if you can. And we do it twice a month. So if you can't make tomorrow's our next one. If you can't make it then, we'll be doing it again in February. All right. And with that, I really speed ran the end of that. Thank you so much for coming and sticking with me. There's a lot of information. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I'm sure you will. I threw a lot of stuff at you. You can email us at bric@freelibrary.org. You can call us at that number. There's our link to our website. You can follow us on social media. Our Twitter is basically non-existent at this point, but we are active on Instagram. And definitely recommend signing up for our newsletter. Goes out once a month. We include a lot of all of the events coming up, any registration information. We also have a section of grants and funding opportunities in the city. So if you're looking for microloans or something like that, we usually link to some applications in that as well. I'm going to stop now because I'm a minute over. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Birch. Okay, so we're getting a lot of positive responses. Love that. Please note that the survey is in the chat. We will send the survey along with the recording and slides in a follow-up email. I think we got to most of the questions. I think someone was asking about a database for funders for nonprofits. That's not what this session is about since we serve for-profits, but if Birch, you want to address that quickly.
Yeah.
But before you do, I just want to say, because I know we're at 1, many people likely have to depart. So thank you so much, Birch. People really enjoyed the resources that you shared. And thank you all for joining. We hope that you will complete the survey and that we'll see you either for a consulting appointment, for another webinar, or both. So thanks for joining, and we'll stay on just for another minute for questions that we didn't get to.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming and sticking with me.